The world is just so pretty sometimes that I think I'm in a video game, but like with amazing graphics, but I think that's just because I've spent way too much time in front of my PC. But look how that sign is just slightly bent. The leaves which are hitting the ground. Like, that looks amazing. Like, holy shit. I'm so happy I can see. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Finally, they are leaving again. Why is everybody disturbing me today? It's almost like the world doesn't belong entirely to me, which I cannot understand. I should have divine ruling over everything to be seen and to be found in this world, obviously. Well, anyways, I wanted to continue where I left off yesterday, but I have no clue where I left off. I think something about the 70s buildings that's not really connected to anything. Also, I don't really have a lot more to talk about the Alpha Air Clinic. What I can talk about, however, is how fucking hard it was for me to get, and I haven't actually achieved it yet, but I tried to upload the video from yesterday. I tried a lot to upload the video from yesterday. Look, there's a garbage truck. So I tried a lot to upload the video from yesterday, but it did not work because I only have my laptop and my phone to edit here. And I edited on my phone because I wanted to do it on the side, which it was like a the form. So, pardon me, I beg your pardon. So the format was what you would expect for a phone video. Therefore, I also wanted to use my phone to edit. I don't know, just seemed more convenient to me. And I downloaded that app, which I do not recommend. I think it's called Action Recorder or something. I don't know, I just picked the free one where you could edit a bit. I didn't really want to do a lot, just like one picture and one text and like a bit of cutting, but like nothing much, right? So I downloaded that and I edited, and it did not really work out. In the processing of the video, I think it might have gotten stuck. Actually, I don't know how the sound quality is, if you can hear that garbage truck or not, because I'm using another mic today. Anyways, yeah, so it started processing, everything seemed to be fine. The problem is I could watch the video, but I could only watch the video inside the app. I couldn't watch it on my phone like normally, and I also couldn't upload it to YouTube. Probably formatting problem, which I do not have a solution for yet. I might find one later, I don't know. I just hope it works, because editing on that stupid app was a pain in the ass, and I tried a bit too long, a bit too hard to accomplish a good video quality, which is not much. It's not a very good video, but it is a video after all. And I mean, I don't care too much, but I do care a bit. So yes. On other news. I was scheduled for drama therapy, which is a bit like theatre, but therapeutic. And I did theatre. I play in the theatre, so I was really excited to go there, and now I cannot find the building. There's a car behind me. And now I cannot find the building in this place, even though I walked through here yesterday. It's supposed to be house something 20 or something, I don't know. but it doesn't really matter since I am too late anyways. So I thought I might just do my own theatre and film a bit. That's quite a nice corner, street corner, yeah. And here is zur Festwiese, so the festival field where festivals were held, and I don't know how it is nowadays during Corona and in a hospital surrounding situation. There is still Corona regulations in place, of course. There are still, not there is. I also made like 2 or 3 grammar mistakes yesterday, and that really pissed me off. Again, I was really annoyed by that. I thought I was better than that, but apparently I am not. Here we have a cafe which is closed since 2020. So yeah, so much to that. It almost seems like some companies, I mean, because this is, it does belong to the clinic, yes, but it's also its own thing, right? And you see that in a lot of places, that people do use the pandemic as an excuse for everything. Like politicians cannot get something done, and they're like, oh, the pandemic, it hit so hard. And it is true that you needed to focus on the pandemic for a lot of time, right? Of course, and I do not criticize that. It's a good thing that we could prevent more deaths, and I mean, in Europe we could, America not so much, but that there was some response to the virus, of course. But like you like, what the fuck? You cannot blame everything on the pandemic, especially not these days. I mean, it's still a topic, but it's not the topic. I often get the feeling that there was a time, especially like when I read about, so for example, this clinic who accepted 150 patients before it was scheduled to open, right? They just said, there are 150 people who need healthcare. We're just gonna take them in. Why not? I mean, sure, not everything is finished yet, but we have some rooms which can be occupied. We have patients who need to occupy those rooms. We're just gonna let them in. This is the church, by the way. I think this is a Catholic institution here, but it doesn't like discriminate against, or it is not supposed to discriminate against other religions or orientations or atheists or whatever. And then it's not like there are crosses everywhere or Jesus statues and the Holy Mary. It's just the church mostly. And if you're really not doing well, you can of course pray and ask for priest, yeah, right, for a priest to come and visit you, but yeah, it's mostly doesn't matter anymore. So what do we have here? In memory of the soldiers lost in the world wars. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. As I said, it was a hospital for soldiers during the 2 world wars. Kind of a strange pyramid though. There's a lot happening here at this time and hour. I haven't talked about occupational therapy yet, have I? At first, because it has another name in German. In German it's like work and occupation therapy. Or it was at least. These days it's ergotherapy. And well, it seems a bit like the clinic is trying to get the people in this clinic to work to make profit or increase losses, which is definitely not the case anymore. I doubt that it was the case in like 1930s and later 1950s, 1960s, all those years. It was not the main point of the clinic to to exploit their patients, I think. Although it was the main point of the clinic basically to kill their patients during the Second World War, but I talked about that already. No, but there were clinics in the early 20th century. Can you hear those leaves? Because they make quite some noise. So there were some... Sorry, I'm just startled by those blue things. What are they supposed to be? Like, I was wondering, thinking maybe in ancient days there was like a wall here to surround this whole town or something, but I don't really see why, because it was only built in 1912 and it was basically built from the ground up without much being here before that, so it doesn't make sense. Well, where was I? Yes, occupational therapy. I think it looks so pretty in the fucking fall. Like, holy shit. I'm gonna make another video tomorrow or sometime after that and read you my poem I wrote here while being here about the fall and sunsets. It's also going into my book. It's cliche, but also it's in German, so don't watch that if you're not German. might want to note that. Okay. Anyways, I'm losing my point again. Still not on medication for ADHD, but I might be soon. Okay, so fuck no, I'm completely lost. Something. Occupational therapy, of course. So, it can be observed often that people need to work. They need to do something. They cannot spend their lives lying in bed or just going around the house doing nothing. It's just unhealthy. We have a drive, an urge to do stuff. And people who it is quite hard for to do stuff because they are, for example, all the way from depressed to well, motorically disabled, like they are not able to really have a lot of motorized functions in their arms and hands and fingertips. Yeah, that's what occupational therapy is for, to give those people something they can do, and also to reintroduce people who were out of the workforce for a long time for psychological problems or whatever, and mainly to give someone a reason to live, to do something. I know that from my own grandpa, who is, I think 86. I'm honestly not sure. Maybe he's also just 85 or already 87, but around that age. And he cannot fucking walk without a walking stick, but he's too proud to use a walking stick. He uses like his shovel or garden hoe or whatever he can find he can lean on, just in order to not seem weak, even though that also makes him seem weak. But this motherfucker, like he plows the fucking, like he has a garden, right, where he also grows vegetables, and this motherfucker like stands up at 6 a.m. in the morning to plow his fucking garden, even though he cannot actually walk that well. Like he needs 2 minutes to go from his house to this field, which is like 10 meters, 20 meters. For you Americans, that's not much. It's insane what he does. He also still paints his fences. He goes on bike. He rides his bike around town, even though he cannot walk. He still rides his bike. Meanwhile, I don't get shit done, even though I'm in my physical prime and should be able to do a lot more than my grandpa, but I kind of don't. Kind of don't have motivation for anything. Well, that's not true. I have motivation for this right now, and also so in the last days it's really gotten better. I will not go into much detail, but I've had a rough day, a couple rough days, for a couple rough months, which is why I'm here. But it is getting better. I like the environment here. It's very positive and very helpful, really. I hope this trend will also continue on once I leave this clinic. Yeah. Also, let's resume my walk and follow the garbage truck, which is over there, I think. Or should I just go this way? It seems a bit nicer. What did I want to talk about? Oh yes, something I didn't mention. Did I mention that? So there was a clinic in the... was it before or after the Second World War? It was either before or after, I'm not sure entirely. I will try to link the sources in the description so you can look it up if you're really that interested. But there was a clinic who aimed for 100% occupation rate for their patients, like a mental health clinic, with also both mentally and physically disabled people, of course. And they almost achieved it, like was close to achieving it, which I think is not that good. I think you should aim for what is best for each individual patient, and not aim for a fucking number. Like, what the fuck? Who put you in charge of that clinic? That's stupid. You cannot tell me that you can just say this will help everybody without evaluating the needs of those patients. I mean, of course you cannot have your own very special, very individualized therapy for every person. But you can also not have one therapy for every person. That's not a thing. That's like pharmacists selling you one pill to help you with all of your problems. So many benches around here. I like that. I like benches. Public benches are like one of the things that reminds me how nice humanity can be. Even though it's a small thing. Just like, have a bench, have a seat, enjoy your life, take a break. I really like that. There's a guy coming towards me, so we'll just quit. So this seems to be the logistics. You often find like a combination of older and newer buildings around here. Also, it is quite favorable to be on bicycle here, because the distances need to be covered, right? I don't actually know what that is. I will have to find it out later. My battery is running out as well. If I remembered right, and if I identified right, this is, but that can be, that's too small. So somewhere around this area there's a school to educate people to be not therapists. How's that called again? The people who take care of seniors and sick people, and I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was called... Nope. Oh, that's the train. I probably already mentioned that there was also a streetcar running to here until it was replaced by cars in the 1960s, because in the 1960s no one wanted public transportation anymore. Everybody wanted his own or her own car, and this is what we got from that now. Also, this train like very often fails to come. It was just so the railroad was serviced recently, so there was no train driving at all. All you could drive was this bus you just saw there, which is what replaces the streetcar nowadays. Yep. kind of sucks somehow. This is, I think, if I'm right, the kitchen. This is logistics. Let's find out what this building is, what it does, who made it. Maybe it's just a random building. Maybe it does not serve a point. Just supposed to look interesting. I mean, look at that tower and the clock. Isn't just wish. I just wish modern buildings would be built like that, but no. Oh. I forgot, I'm not allowed to leave. I'm not allowed to leave, fuck. It's so annoying, like. Also a bit disorienting to be like spawned around like that, I don't like that. So, I forget what I was talking about. A lot. Maybe I should talk about how I forget what I'm talking about, but I'm afraid to do that because I will probably forget that I'm talking about it. I'm wondering where to go right now. Maybe I will go to the left, because that's where in the one part there's a nice little bridge kind of thing, I think. And then there's also houses for the people that work here, which also all look quite nice. Also, just imagine these were not modern cars, but like 1950s cars or something, or go even earlier and you have mostly bicycles and then a couple of like maybe the chef main doctor had a car, maybe there were some staff cars, and then there was a bus, I suppose. Oh no, there was the streetcar, of course. I forget myself. It's a nice church, I think. Wait, let me go away from this car. But also, like, nice church, and then there's this. I don't know, I just think we should build prettier things. At least for the places people live. Like, okay, for industry, just build that fucking metal hall, metal container hall, whatever. I don't care. Even though I still think workplaces for most people should also have some environment which is like not complete bullshit. Like, I don't know. Of course, there are more important things to do. There are things like so I would also say it's more important to... Actually, I would like to cut that, but I don't want to cut it all, I just want to upload this. And I have 6%, so I gotta hurry up, okay. So, I think some of the workforce could be diverted to make life better, because what can we really do as humans except driving cars, spending money on hose and coke? I mean, what can we really do as humans except trying to make lives better and enjoy our lives? I mean, there's not really... I don't know, is there a point to making money while being unhappy, while being forced into a working space which is unforgivable, which is not nice, which doesn't give you a lot of joy and pleasure, except for your co-workers maybe, because we tend to make our lives better even in dire situations. I mean, workplaces are not dire, most of them. Think of Qatar, football World Cup. That's not nice, I suppose. But still, in unfavorable situations, we tend to make jokes about it. Me and my co-worker, we're suffering together. But like, just imagine you wouldn't be suffering. Does seem a bit better, in my opinion. I don't know. There are people who like to suffer, but I don't think anyone likes to suffer at work. Like, okay, if you're a masochist, you can outlive your fetish. You can act out your fetish in your private quarters, but don't think you would like to be treated like shit at work. Unless your boss is fucking you, perhaps. I don't know. Okay, getting off topic again. I'm gonna work back to my station. Not work. I'm not gonna work. Well, I am gonna work at some point. I would rather not like work. I'd rather just write and make videos like that, talk about stuff. Also, I want to make pub videos where I go to a pub and just talk to people. I would really like that. I would really enjoy that. Because one thing I would also like to show and like to experience, which I believe in, is that most people are quite nice if you so most people are quite nice if you get them on the right spot, if you talk to them in a way you would like to be talked to, if you can listen, if they can listen. That's a very good space for, it must not be a friendship, but a pleasant conversation, like a moment of life where I know that where I can be happy and where they can also be not entirely unhappy. Yeah. I think I will stop now. Goodbye.